Ode to the Shire Fellowship. The human mind is a wonderful thing. 100 million will look at a ring and hold it and smile and say, "Isn't it nice, the way the gold sparkles? But look at the price!" But one man just stared, and at night in his berth he wrote on his bedsheet the name Middle-earth. Next morning he went to explore this new realm, a world full of magic, a walking elm, woolly-toed hobbits, a murdering willow, elves, dwarves, and wizards, and Tom Bombadillo. But the centrepiece of the great tale he told was the 3-foot-tall hero with his circlet of gold. Professor Tolkien continued to write. He scribbled by day and he scribbled at night. At last he was done. And oh, what a story! As long as the Bible, but not quite as gory. All sorts of people devoured the book, and talked about Gandalf and Peregrine Took. Some drew little pictures of dwarves drinking beer, some called their sons Frodo or Faramir. All wanted a part in this wonderful tale, and dreamed of a house in Frogmorton or Dale. Hundreds of thousands had read this great tome, but each fan was an island within his own home. A few decades later all this was to change. Fandom acquired a whole new range. The net, people called it, a mind-boggling thing that unites all the people who worship the ring. Sites sprouted like mushrooms. J.T. would have gloated had he known all this was to be when he wrote it. No site was as good, though, as one single board led by a phantom who called himself Lord. Here we were free, and people soon found that there's always a bigger ring geek around. Against all the odds, here was somebody who had read Vala Quenta 2 more times than you. There were people who knew what the elvish names meant, who could ramble for weeks about the wife of an Ent. Some joined from opposite sides of the globe to talk about eagles and Gandalf's white robe. Soon the club thrived, and what set it apart was that each little post was a real work of art. However, it was almost too good to have lasted, and members and topics alike seemed exhausted. The hardcore posters then started crying, "What happened, folks? Is this board dying?" In answer there was a rush of new members. The site rose like a phoenix from smouldering embers. They posted like crazy. They had a new style. They were lycosophobes, but messengerophile. A new range of topics was found and explored. They boycotted the discussion board. They lowered the average age by 10 years, and posted new photos of a girl with strange ears. The movie was coming. They cut out Glorfindel, and we won't see Tom or the Withywindle. Again people joined to see all the pics, and suddenly we started politics. In less than a year we had 4 different hosts, and you had to watch close to keep track of old posts. The club was cleaned up like an attic in spring. For a time there was less talk of the Springle ring, but rather of boards and of old threads deleted, which none but the most up-to-date permeated. Then came an era of fighting and fear that I cannot sing of, as I wasn't here. It passed, thank Eru, and out of the fray emerged our host Whitestaff, who held us at bay. Time passed, things changed, 2 movies arrived, a whole lot altered, and yet the club thrived. My song nears its end, but for good or for ill, our dear old Shire Fellowship lives on still. It's an ongoing road that has twisted and turned. In passing, I'll voice the respect that it's earned. I've sung myself hoarse. I'll close with a trill, and ask of you never to bear me ill will. And if the club fails in your time, dear staff, I'd like this to be the club's epitaph.